So when Dre came back the last time from being in St. Louis, he wasn't living with Robbie at the time. He came back and he said, Mom, he said, if anything ever happened to me, just know that Tim did it. What are you talking about? He said, well, just know Tim don't never do his own dirty work. But I got that fatal call from her about Dre. And I didn't want to answer the phone. You know, I just didn't want to answer the phone. And then she hung up and she called right back. And then that's when she was like, well, you know, the detectives was here. And already my heart is already slowing down, you know, and to the point where they want her to go down to the morgue to identify that was him. That was it. You know, it was like, it was so surreal. Everything was just rolling around. I'm just like, not my son. You know, not my son. Not my son.
What's up, good people? Let me know that you can hear me in the chat by typing day three, because we are on day 3 of this Tim Norman trial. I swear we have been at this for, it feels like for, we have been at this for a couple months, I think. It's been at least a couple months, and we're still on day 3, but we are on the Terica Ellis transcript, well, her testimony rather, and yeah, we're gonna push through and we're gonna try to get it done. I am really struggling with how the timing of this particular series that we're doing, because of the fact that it's in the prime time slot. And as you know, on our main channel, when we're doing videos, we have hundreds of people, and those people are enjoying that content. However, this is more niche, and we have a way smaller audience for this. So I'm trying to push through so we can get through the trial, but I'm still debating about trying to figure out a better time slot. And earlier doesn't work for everyone as far as the cast. So I'm still trying to figure it out. And I'm not trying to give them a weekends for it. And I'm not sure if that works for the cast. So I don't know if anybody got any ideas, let me know. Cause yeah, we're sitting around, I don't know, 30 something people who watch this. And then in our regular lives, we have upwards of 400 to 500. So yeah. But anyway, tonight is a special evening because of the fact that we have, we're embarking upon, and I hate this word, but I don't know what other word to use, but the anniversary of the death of Andre Montgomery. His life was unfortunately taken on March 14th of 2016. So that was 8 years ago tomorrow. So definitely send out your prayers and your thoughts to Michelle Griggs and the Griggs family and all of those who have been impacted by his death. You know, the M word, I'm on YouTube, so I ain't gonna use it. But And tonight we have our cast, and I'm very grateful for our cast. Tonight, it's a surprise to me as well because we have Robert is back with us this evening, and very happy to see Robert. Then we have Mocha. Robert is in the role of the court. We have Precious G, who I always do this. I send them the roles because we adjust per reading depending on who's testifying, and I always send it to them and then take it, erase my note, not erase it, but it's only in my text message to them, so then I forget who I signed what to. But here we go. So Robert will be reading for the court, which is Judge Ross. Mocha Barbie will be doing the role of attorney Angie Danis today, and Precious will be playing the role of Mr. Leonard when I'm acting in another role, and I will be playing the role of Terica Ellis today, as well as Travell Anthony Hill if we get to that part of the testimony today, as well as, of course, Michael Leonard when I'm not acting in the role of Terica and Travell. So I'm going to pull up, make sure I'm ready, screen share first, our transcripts, and then I'm going to bring up our cast, but let me adjust this. And thank you to everybody who's in here tonight. I see Alice, I see Deborah, I see Rachel, Marjan, Chef Fine as Wine. Hello, everybody, and everyone else who I may be missing. Okay, is it ready? Hold on. Here we go. Now I'm screen share, and I'm bring up the cast. Screen share window. Here we go. All right, and so I'm going to start bringing up the cast. First, we have Robert. Welcome, Robert. We're glad to see you this evening.
I'm glad to be back, Vell.
All right.
This is something that I missed last week. Do you want Marjan to read tonight?
No, if you're able, it's totally up to you. It's up to you and Marjan. If you're feeling up to it, you can totally have your role.
I'm up to it.
Okay, excellent. Are you listening on the YouTube side or are you listening through StreamYard? Because you seem to be delayed.
He's not on YouTube.
I'm not on YouTube.
Okay, there seems to be a delay. I'm not sure. Okay, if you listen through StreamYard, okay.
He's on. I put him on he's not on YouTube.
Okay. And then next we have Precious G. Welcome, Precious.
Thank you. Welcome back, Robert. I'm glad you're better. Yay.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of delay. And Mocha Barbie. Hey, Mocha.
Hey, guys. Welcome back, Judge Robert.
Thank you, Mocha.
Okay. Okay, so we are... What happened?
Am I getting feedback?
I'm not hearing feedback. I don't hear anything.
Okay, I was just checking.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna start. Last week we left off on Terica Ellis's testimony. I think we were about to move into the cross-examination, but then there's a sidebar that is being done. So we're gonna start on page 89, line 8 with Judge Ross. So the proceedings were held at sidebar.
Okay.
The court. Now, I was thinking I was going to go until 12:30. Do you have any idea how long you will be with her?
Probably longer. Can we start after the lunch break?
Do you know where we are in terms of witnesses?
Travell Hill is the next witness. He is much shorter than Miss Ellis. Probably 20 minutes on direct.
All right. We will take a lunch break now and start back up afterwards.
Thanks, Judge.
All right.
And proceedings resume in open court.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is no good time to take a break, but this is as good as any. We will take our lunch break at this time. Again, I want to tell you basically what I told you yesterday about during the lunch break. There are people around the courthouse talking about this case or some other case. It is very important that you stay away from folks. We don't want there to be any outside influence that could affect your decision in this case. Now, it is very important that you not speak to anyone about the case in any manner. Again, I understand that you may want to get outside and get fresh air. Gets kind of stuffy in here. There is an afternoon baseball game, so it is crowded downtown. Again, you need to avoid contact with anybody who might be talking about this case or some other case that would affect your decision. That's very, very important. We do have sandwiches again, and I think some soft drinks for you. If you're wanting to stay in, again, keep an open mind about the case until it is finally given to you to decide. Don't talk to anyone about the case in any manner, whether it is on the internet, on a social media site. You just can't do those things. Don't do any independent research of any kind into any of the issues. We'll all be in recess until 1:15. So it is about an hour and 20 minutes. We will be in recess until 1:15. If you will leave your notebooks on the chair, we will be in temporary recess.
The court?
Anything further for the records at this time?
No, Judge.
Anything
Not
further
right.
on behalf of the government?
Not right now, Your Honor.
We will be in temporary recess until 1:15. Ms. Ellis, I had asked that you return to the witness stand. You will recall you are still under oath.
Yes.
The witness, yes. Counsel, you may proceed with questions of the witness. If you will speak into the microphone so that I can hear you, thank you, sir.
Thanks, Judge. Miss Ellis, you just testified before lunch that Tim Camel Hips Norman gave you $10,000. Do you remember saying that? Miss Ellis?
Oh, how about I didn't know I was muted all the time, y'all? I've been talking and everything. Yes.
That was a lie, wasn't it, ma'am?
No.
When you got arrested in this case, you had a meeting for several hours, right? Miss Ellis, right?
Wait, what line we on? You had a meeting for several hours?
I'm
You
doing a
had a meeting
cross-examination. We're on page 92.
when you got arrested in this case, you had a meeting, whether during the meeting?
It says right here, it says that was a lie, wasn't it, ma'am? You said no. And it says when you got arrested in this case, you had a meeting for several hours, right? Or we go on to the next page, 92.
I don't see a several hours. Let me make
Okay.
sure.
Not page 91 goes to page 92.
Oh, mine jumps from how's that
Mine,
possible? Hold on. Mine jumps from 191 to 93.
you missing a page.
Are you looking at the page number at the top, or you looking at the side, the PDF?
Okay, so we're doing a cross-examination, right?
Yeah.
Mine
Is your
goes,
page number on top 93 like I got on the screen?
yeah, 91. I see on the screen page 91 on this 93 on the screen.
I
Yeah.
have 92 as well.
Okay.
I have 92 also.
Thank you.
But y'all looking at what I'm not making it up. You see what I got on the screen, right?
I see
Yeah,
what you have on the screen. You had 91 at first. Okay.
Right. And I'm scrolling down.
Okay,
And then you
scrolling
see
down.
right there.
90. Yeah, you're missing a page.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, okay. So you want me to go page? You want me to just scroll down to 93 then?
Yeah, just jump to 93 because I don't have it. And this is what I gave y'all, so I have no idea how that came.
Okay. All right. So now we go to 93. Okay, the court. Start at number 2 then.
Yeah, line number 2. So Robert, just pick up there.
That takes a lot of good information out, but okay.
You have not laid a proper foundation. So to that extent, the objection is going to be sustained.
On what basis, Judge?
To play a prior inconsistent statement.
We committed to her testimony, which was 10 grand. I laid the foundation. Now I'm going to play the impeachment material. It's just like I do at any trial.
You have to ask her if she was asked the question and what her answer was.
Okay, sure.
You have to lay a proper foundation.
Sure.
Proceedings resume in open court. Oh. Go ahead.
The objection to the foundation will be granted. Sustained. Counsel, ask another question.
Sure. Miss Ellis, during your meeting with the prosecutors and Detective Rudolph, did they ask you specifically how much money Tim Norman had paid you? Is that correct?
Yes.
And during that meeting, you said it was $5,000, didn't you?
I said 5,000 and then I said 10,000.
Can you play the tape? Your Honor?
Your Honor,
Is there an objection?
the objection, improper foundation.
The objection will be overruled.
Can you stop that? Do you see yourself on the screen, ma'am?
Yes.
Is that you?
Yes.
Is that you answering questions with Detective Rudolph sitting across the table from you?
Yes.
Is Detective Rudolph being the gentleman that's sitting here at the council table?
Yes.
And that was in August of 2020 after you arrest in this case, right?
Yes.
Go ahead and play it.
At this time, the video was played.
Please stop there, please. That was you giving that answer, wasn't it, ma'am?
Yes.
Let's talk about the money that you made before you met with Tim Camel Hips Norman on March 14th, 2016, okay?
Uh-huh.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
You just told the government lawyer that you got into town here in St. Louis on Thursday before you saw Tim on the 14th, right?
Yes.
You were here not for fun. You were here to work.
Yes.
You're here to make money.
Yes.
You're here to make money dancing that bottoms up.
Yeah.
Bottoms up, and having sex with men.
Yeah. Well, not that weekend. I didn't besides Tim.
Okay, well, let's go through those days. That Thursday you got here. You work at bottoms up, right?
Yes.
And you made a couple $1,000s, didn't you?
No.
Well, how much did you make that night? Like two bucks?
Probably like 300 or 400.
So $3, $4. Okay, and then the next night on Friday you danced again, right?
Yes.
You made another $2 to $3. You made money again.
Yes.
Made about $1,000, didn't you?
Probably about 500 or 600.
I gave you too much credit. Then Saturday comes along. You dance that bottoms up, right?
Yeah.
You make more pennies. You make money.
Yes.
You make another what? 1 to 2 grand that night. That was a big night because it was Saturday, right?
No, it was about the same.
So you're still wasting your time. What, 500 to 600?
Probably so, yeah.
So you just dancing for free. Okay. And then you also danced that weekend on Sunday at Bottoms Up, didn't you, ma'am?
Yes.
Made more money, right?
It was slow.
So why did you even go to work? What?
It was slow that night, like me.
Yeah, so you must have made nothing but a couple of quarters then. Sure, you made some money though, ma'am, didn't you?
Yes.
What, about $2, $3, a couple hundred at least, right?
Probably so, yeah.
I'm not real good at math, but by the time you met with Tim Norman on the 14th of 2016, from Thursday to Sunday, you had a couple of $1,000s in cash in your pocket, didn't you?
Yes.
And we saw in the videotape you met with these folks right after you were arrested, right?
Yes.
They told you a couple dozen times you were a liar, didn't they?
Yes.
They told you over and over that you weren't going to see your children ever again, right?
Yes.
You love your children, don't you?
I do.
How many do you have? About a dozen?
I have 2.
Silly, you have more. And how old are they?
4 and 18.
And they told you over and over. You didn't say what they wanted you to say. You'll never see those children again, correct?
No.
I want you to talk for a minute, man. Just a minute about the documents the prosecutor shows you. Do you remember they called it a cooperation agreement? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay, would you mind putting 73 up in that published?
It has not been admitted in evidence.
Oops, I'm sorry, Judge.
It has not.
Yeah. On the witness screen, can you see that?
Yes.
And on the first page under part 1, well, first of all, this is your cooperation agreement, right?
Yes.
Okay, you reviewed this with a lawyer, didn't you, ma'am?
Yes.
And do you understand that it says a couple of things? I mean, I know you're hooked on phonics, but that's besides the point. There's a lot of legal jargon in there, right? And a lot of legal mumbo jumbo that you don't understand.
Yes.
But there's a couple of things that are clear to you, right?
Yes.
Like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. One is the government say you got to tell the truth, right?
Yes.
And then the second thing is the government tells the judge you told the truth, then the judge can give you a lower sentence. Yeah, I know you understand what a lower sentence is, right?
Yes.
So it's pretty important, 1, 2, 3, for your story to match what these people want, isn't it?
It was important for me to tell the truth.
And maybe I misheard you earlier. You didn't tell the jury that you wanted to get a longer sentence, did you?
No.
You want to get a shorter sentence, don't you?
Of course.
Can you spell of course? Of course you want to be back to your children and out of jail as soon as you can, right, ma'am?
It has nothing to do with me telling the truth.
Spell truth. Here's my question, ma'am. You would like to be out of jail cell as quick as you can and back to those children you love, correct?
Not those children, yes.
I want to talk about something that the counsel raised. She indicated that you indicated, I know you don't know how to spell indicated, but that's besides the point, that you were an exotic dancer at Bottoms Up, right?
Yes.
It wasn't just Bottoms Up, was it, ma'am?
What do you mean?
Well, let me make this simple and slow to you that you can comprehend. Prior to March 2016, you danced all over the country, didn't you?
Yes.
Atlanta,
Yes.
Florida,
Yes.
New Orleans,
Yes.
Memphis,
Yes.
other states as well that I know you can't spell.
Yes.
And over that period of time, you got pretty good at doing and saying things to get men to give you money, right?
No, I don't have to do or say anything for men to give me money.
Well, you dance for them for money, right?
Yes.
You will use your eyes, your butt, your voice, and flirt with them to give you money, right?
No.
And you would say lies to them again to give you money, right?
No.
You would tell them they're good looking and they're handsome. You like camel hips and things that are of that nature, right?
This sounds personal. No.
You became pretty good at lying to get men to do the things you wanted and have them pay you, right?
No. I don't have to lie to anyone.
So you just like camel hips? So let's talk about Tim Norman. You know Tim for a number of years prior to March of 2016, right?
Yes.
Tim was a sweetheart, wasn't he?
Yes.
A kind man
Yeah, you can
with
say
wide
that.
hips. A gentleman with wide hips.
Yes.
A gentle person with wide hips.
Yeah.
A respectful man with wide hips, right?
Yes.
If you wanted something from those wide hips, you would ask him, right?
Right.
If you wanted money, you would ask him.
Yes.
I'm not just talking about for sex. If you wanted money from Tim because you had to pay a bill or needed money, you would call him up and you would give him you anywhere from a couple of hundred to a couple of thousands, right?
He never gave me more than $1,000 besides that day.
Yeah. So pull apart from the sex a second. If you wanted him to pay a bill or give you money, he would give you sometimes as much as $1,000, right?
Yeah, sometimes he didn't give me anything though.
I understand, but sometimes he did, right, ma'am?
Yes.
And that's just for not sex. Every time you had sex with him, he paid you money, right?
Yes, of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't sleep with his ugly ass.
So when you said to the jury it was like friends with benefits, you know, camel benefits, it wasn't like friends with benefits. You charged him every time you had sex with camel hips, right?
Of course, every woman does.
And camel hips always had a bunch of money, didn't he?
Yes.
Lots of cash.
Yes.
And that's why he's one of the people that you asked for cash, because he had lots of it.
Yeah.
He carried cash around with him.
Yes.
You have lots of it in the hotel room that you went to.
Yes.
He sometimes had it in duffel bags.
Yes.
And on March 14th, 2016, when you met with him, he had a big duffel bag full of cash, didn't he, ma'am?
Yes.
And it's true that Tim Camel Hips told you when you met with him on March 14th, 2016, that he had just gone around to the restaurants to clear out the cash from the safes like he always does.
No.
Did you know when he came back to St. Louis from time to time, that's one of the things he did here?
No.
He also lived a pretty lavish lifestyle, didn't he?
Yes.
But he always took it to the motel, you know. Always driving real sweet, expensive cars.
Yes.
Always living in really fine condos and apartments.
Yes.
Usually going to pretty sweet hotels with you, right?
Yes.
Let's talk for a second about Andre Montgomery. Dre, you meet him at a Bottoms Up about a week to 10 days before March 14th, right, ma'am?
Yes.
You had never met him before, right?
No.
He told you he was a rapper from New Orleans, right?
Yes, a rapper from Louisiana.
Spell Louisiana. And he spent a lot of money on that night, didn't he?
Yes.
Did you know if he really had a job?
I didn't know.
And you sent him a text message on the 14th. And you said to him something like, I ain't asking for money or something like that. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
Because even though you had only known him for a few days or weeks or two, you already hit him up for money, hadn't you?
Well, I texted him And I told him I needed money if he wanted me to come see him.
Okay, let's just make sure we are clear. You had just barely met Dre. Within a couple of days, you're telling him, hey man, you want to see me? You have to pay me, right?
Well, we talked about that in the club. He wanted me to come see him after I left the club.
So ain't nothing free with you, right? So okay. So the 14th, you're saying I ain't asking for money. You trying to make sure he knew that it wasn't like what you told him at the club.
Yes.
Okay, let's just talk a little bit about what Tim Camel Hips to you said to you after you had sex on March 14th, 2016. Okay,
Yes.
you said you had sex. You took a shower and then you were kind of catching up on each other lives, right?
Yes.
And you kind of asked him about his mother, Miss Robbie, right?
No.
You didn't?
No.
Okay, you told him about your life, didn't you?
Yes.
You told him that you opened this little boutique down in Memphis, right?
Yes.
You told him, I need money, right?
Yes.
You always need money. That's the theme here. You told him it would be nice, Camel Hits Tim, if you gave me a little money for my new boutique and said something like that, right?
Yes.
Kind of bat your eyes at him, right?
I don't know about all that.
You don't know what that means. And he said, okay, just like the kind, generous guy he had done on many occasions. He said, okay, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things they told you, ma'am, is that, hey, I got this situation. Dre robbed Miss Robbie's house and stole a bunch of money. Didn't you say that?
Yes.
And he said something like, I have been trying to find out where he is.
Yes.
And he says, but he's been dodging me, right?
Yes. Yes.
Then all of a sudden you say something like, that's crazy. I've been conversating with him, right?
No.
You didn't say that.
No. He showed me a picture of him.
Okay. So once he showed you the picture, you said, that's crazy. I just started conversating with him, right?
Yes.
And Tim told you that, according to Tim Camel Hips, at least, that Dre maybe stolen a couple of $100,000 from Miss Robbie.
Yes.
And Tim saying, hey, can you get a location on him, right?
Yes.
And he told you the reason he needed a location on him was trying to get back from Dre the money, the property they stole or whatever was left, right?
Yes.
And Tim never said anything about any attempt to harm his nephew Andre, did he?
No.
He did not say anything suggesting that he wanted his nephew Andre, did he?
No.
He did not say anything to you that anyone else wanted to harm Andre, did he?
No.
He didn't say anything you're suggesting that anyone wanted Andre, did he?
No.
And for Tim Camelhead, if Tim said he wanted Andre, that's completely unlike the Tim you know, correct?
You can say the word.
Yes.
Okay. And Tim was your friend. If he would have given you $200, you still would have helped him find Andre, right?
He offered to give me 10,000, so I helped him.
That's not my question. Tim was your friend.
Yes.
If he would give you $200, you would have helped your friend find Andre, right?
Yes.
One of the other things you said to Tim in the hotel room, you kind of bagged your eyes. You said, Tim Camel Hips, you haven't been calling me. You have to call me more, right?
I don't remember that.
You don't
'Cause he
deny
just
it,
a
do you,
drunk.
ma'am?
I don't remember that.
I'm not asking you to not saying that. You just don't recall it, right?
I don't remember saying that.
Okay, it was your suggestion that, hey, Tim Camel Hips, maybe you can keep up with me. Maybe we will have our separate phone, right?
No.
And Tim's Campbell, his position at that time on Sweetie Pies, it was important for him to be low key, wasn't it?
No. He is never needed to be low key.
Did you meet with the government and tell them that Tim was always trying to be low key? Did you say that?
Never.
Now, you went to La Quinta, right?
Yes.
Because you wanted to see Dre, right?
No, because Tim told me to go see him.
When you went to La Quinta, you were trying to see Dre, weren't you?
Tim told me to go to La Quinta to see Dre.
I'll ask you again. When you went to La Quinta, you were attempting to see Dre, weren't you?
I just answered your question.
She getting
Watch
sassy
your
now.
tone, you little illiterate. Is the answer yes?
I told Tim, Tim told me to go see Andre to make sure he was there.
You just do anything Tim Camelhip says, right?
I did what he said that day for
Okay. And in
$10,000.
general, do you just do whatever Tim Camelhip's Norman says?
If he was paying me,
So basically, it takes for you to get paid, just like I said earlier. Okay, if he's paying you, you do whatever he says.
as long as it's reasonable.
Okay, and when you went to La Quinta, you went to Natural Bridge. You did not believe for 1 second that Andre was going to be harmed, did you?
I didn't think he was going to be harmed.
When you went to Natural Bridge and you went to La Quinta, you did not think Andre was going to be killed, did you, ma'am?
No.
When you went to La Quinta, you saw Dre, didn't you, ma'am?
Yes.
And you knew, according to Tim, that Dre had a lot of money, right?
I didn't see any money with him.
When you went to La Quinta, you hit up Dre for money, didn't you, ma'am?
No.
How much did he give you?
He didn't give me any
You
money.
left La Quinta and then you went to the mall, right?
Yes.
You bought Dre some nice clothes, right?
Yeah. Dre asked me to buy him an outfit.
And you bought it for him, right?
Yeah.
You fully expected him to be able to wear that outfit because you didn't expect anything bad to happen to Dre, correct?
Yes.
Let's talk for a second, ma'am. About, I think you called that person that you talked to or text on the phone that night. I think you said, homeboy? What was that name you were using?
Yes.
Okay, when you had these communications with homeboy, homeboy never indicated to you that he was going to harm Dre, did he?
No.
He never indicated to you, I think we have a home run out there. Sorry, he never indicated homeboy had any intention to kill him, Dre, did he?
No.
And this homeboy guy, he never indicated that he had a gun or weapon, did he, ma'am?
You're not used to using the word homeboy, are you? No,
Nope.
I never saw him.
Here's my question. When you communicate with text or phone calls, he never indicated that he had a weapon, did he?
No.
Let's talk, okay. Let's talk about that time period where Dre was shot, okay? At that time, Dre was shot. You didn't see it happen, did you?
No.
You were already gone?
Yes.
And is it fair to say it sounded like there was a lot of shooting out there, didn't it?
I just heard gunshots.
Shooting, right?
Yeah.
It's not uncommon at that address for there to be shooting in St. Louis, is it? Objection?
I don't know.
Objection.
Court.
Judge.
The objection is sustained.
It is correct, ma'am, that when you heard the gunshots, it sounded like the first one came from inside the house, right?
Objection.
Go.
Objection, Your Honor. Misstates the evidence.
The objection is sustained.
Did it sound like the first shot came from the house?
I was down the street when I heard the shots. I was driving down the street, so I was never in the house.
So you weren't able to tell from the sound of it whether you thought the first shot came from inside or outside. Is that correct?
It sounded like it came from outside.
Whoever shot Dre, whoever that was, you didn't see him, right?
No.
You don't know why that person did it that night, do you?
No.
You don't know if that person freaked out and shot Dre, do you?
I know when I called Tim, he told me to just get on the highway.
That wasn't my question. Listen to the question. I'm talking to whoever shot Dre. You don't know the person freaked out and shot Dre, do you?
How could I know that?
Exactly. You don't know if he thought Dre had a weapon and he drew on Dre first, do you?
Objection, Your Honor. It's called for speculation.
The objection is sustained.
So when you talked to Tim on that night of March 14th, after you headed out to Memphis, you didn't know, number one, if Dre had been shot, right?
No, I just heard gunshots.
I understand that. Listen to the question. So you were driving away, you talked to Tim. You don't know if Dre had been shot or not.
No.
You don't know if Dre had been killed.
No.
As we talked about earlier, you spent an awful lot of time talking to these folks at the table about what happened that night, didn't you, ma'am?
Yes.
Not once did you ever claim to them that Tim told you to get rid of a phone, did you?
Yes, I did.
Let's talk about your visit to LA. You go out there with your mother, right?
You say what?
Your trip to LA was in May or June of 2016. I want to talk about that for a moment, ma'am, okay?
It was in March.
Oh, you know your months? I'm surprised. March, okay. It was already a pre-planned trip, wasn't it?
Yes.
You go out there with your mother, right?
Yes.
Is that somebody that you love?
Yes, idiot.
You also took your two daughters that I know you love. You do love, right?
I only had one daughter at that time.
Okay, you love her a lot. And you took her with right?
Yes.
And you were comfortable enough with Tim to bring bring your beloved mother and your beloved child around him, right?
It was in a public place.
Sure, you meet inside a restaurant, right?
Yes.
Okay, nothing further, Judge.
Miss Carol?
I have no redirect, Your Honor.
Of course you don't. Boom.
That was not the mic drop he thought it was.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a very short recess. Let you stretch your legs and get a drink of water. I'll tell you what I tell you at every recess or adjournment of the court. Please don't talk to anyone about the case until it is finally concluded. Keep an open mind about the case until it is finally given to you to decide. Don't do any independent research of any kind into any of the issues. Again, I must tell you, if you leave your notebooks there on the chair, it will be a very quick break for about 5 minutes. We will be in temporary recess.
So at 1:54 p.m., the proceedings stood in temporary recess. At 2:09 p.m., and then the proceedings resumed in open court.
Counsel, Ms. Danish, your next witness is whom?
Your Honor, the government calls Vell Hill.
Mr. Hill, I ask you, be there on the witness stand. Please stand up and be sworn to testify. I'm going to ask you to speak into the microphone and speak loudly and clearly. And counsel, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you introduce yourself to the jury, sir?
My name is Vell Anthony Hill.
How old are you, sir?
31.
Is there a nickname that you go by besides Vell?
Loco.
And are you currently incarcerated?
Yes.
Mr. Hill, on March 14, 2016, did you murder...
Y'all can say the words.
Okay, Andre Montgomery?
Yes.
On March 17, 2 days later, 2016, did you accept $5,000 from DJ?
I don't know the dates.
Okay, let's talk about the case. On June 3rd of 2022, did you plead guilty to conspiracy to commit murder for hire?
Yes.
Did you also plead guilty to count 2, the substantive charge of murder for hire?
Yes.
Of murder for hire, thank you. You have been sentenced yet?
No.
In November of 2022, were you arrested on this case?
Yes.
And then in January of 2021, did you agree to speak to the government relative to your involvement in the Andre Montgomery murder?
Yes.
Did you do so after signing a letter after consulting with your lawyer?
Yes.
In my eye. Can I show you, just for your own identification, Government Exhibit 75? If you look at that monitor, it will appear in front of you, sir. Are you familiar with that? I'm sorry, it is not up yet.
It is just on the witness's monitor.
Is it there? Oh, I'm sorry.
There it is.
Thank you. And are you familiar with that document, sir?
Yes.
What is that document?
It's all that I stated on and signed.
What is the date on that letter, if you will scroll up?
January 13th, 2021.
What is your understanding of your obligation pursuant of this letter?
I just signed it because I pled guilty to it.
Are you testifying here today hoping to receive a lower sentence in this case?
No.
Who determined what sentence you received in this case?
The judge.
Have I promised you a particular sentence in this case?
No, ma'am.
Has Ms. Carroll promised you a sentence in this case?
No, ma'am.
Sir, in 2015, did you plead guilty to the offense of possession for a controlled substance?
Yes.
And then in 2017, did you have two more cases in which you pled guilty to possession of a controlled substance?
Yes.
And just for the record, the court reporter, if you will wait until I finish my question, okay? Thank you. I want to go back to 2015 and 2016, how you were supporting yourself at that time.
Selling drugs.
And around that time, or before that time, did you know a man named Tim Norman?
And just for a little narration, remember what I can't do it because I got the mic here, but remember what I told y'all during the trial. He was all like this in the court, just chilling while he was answering questions. He was just like, he didn't care. He was just there for ish and giggles. But I got to be at the mic. So I'm trying to get the voice just right, but it's coming to me slowly. Around that time, yes, I did.
Do you see Mr. Norman here in the court?
Yes.
Could you please identify him by where he is seated and what he is wearing?
To my left, a suit.
What color suit, sir?
I don't know, a dark color, a navy blue or black.
I asked the record to reflect that Mr. Hill has identified the defendant.
The record will so reflect.
So in 2015 and 16, you were selling drugs, is that correct?
Yes.
Did you also take drugs at that time?
Ecstasy and Molly.
What effect did Molly or ecstasy have on you?
It enhanced senses.
It enhanced your senses?
Yes, ma'am.
At some point in the course of the relationship with Mr. Norman, did you meet a man that you knew as White Boy Chris?
Yeah, I met him before.
If we can pull up for the witness government exhibit 81, do you recognize the photo, Mr. Hill?
Yes, I do.
What is that photo?
The man I know is White Boy Chris.
How did you meet White Boy Chris?
I can't recall. I met him through Tim though, but I can't recall it how.
If you could admit exhibit 81 into evidence, if we could.
Any objection to
None.
exhibit 81?
None.
Exhibit 81. Oh, I'm sorry, Judge.
Exhibit 1 will be admitted.
How many times would you say you met with white boy Chris over the years?
I can't really say.
Do you know if it was more than 5?
I can't really. You said to tell the truth, but I can't. I don't know how many times I met with him.
Okay. What was the nature of your relationship?
We talked about different things.
Did he ever sell you drugs?
I have to answer that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So Travell turned towards the judge and said, I have to answer that? So that's where all the delay and the judge, that's why the judge said, yes, sir. Because he turned to the judge
Yes,
like,
you do.
No, he ain't never sold me no drugs. Now you know he lying. That's when we started to say, oh, okay, we see what's happening.
I want to show you what has been omitted at Government's Exhibit 2N. If we can zoom on that left-hand picture, please. Do you recognize that phone number that's pictured there?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize that phone number?
The phone I used to sell drugs off of.
And this is the phone number that's saved to Tim Norman's phone as Travell nephew. Did Mr. Norman refer to you as nephew?
You'd have to ask him that.
What did you refer to him as?
I said Unc out of respect.
You said what out of respect?
Unc out of respect.
Unc?
Nods his head. You know he ain't got no coup.
Now you said white boy Chris never sold you drugs. Did he ever give you drugs?
Yes, he did.
What kind of drugs?
Cocaine.
So you said that one of the phone numbers that you used at the time, did you use another phone number around that time?
I had different phones around that time, yes.
I'm going to show you what has been omitted in Government's Exhibit 2S. Do you recognize the phone number, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this another phone number that was used in 2015, 2016?
I believe so, yes.
And that ends in 5999, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to talk to you about earlier March of 2016. Do you recall having a meeting with white boy Chris sometime in March of 2016?
I can't give you no time or date.
Let me ask you this. You murdered Andre Montgomery on March 14, 2016. Is that correct?
I can't give you no time or date. I'm not familiar with dates. I murdered Andre, but I don't know what day it was that I did it.
Okay. So sometime prior to that, did you meet with white boy Chris?
Weeks before.
What happened during the meeting?
Well, he pulled up on me one day and said I was charging Tim too much to murder Andre. To murder Andre. I said I never talked to Tim about that.
All right. What did Chris say to you first?
He said, you charging too. He said, Tim said you charging too much for the murder of Andre. I told that I never talked to Tim about no murder.
And what after? So he told you, Tim says that you're charging too much to murder Andre?
When he asked me that, I told him me and Tim ain't never talk about no he didn't pay me to murder anybody.
Okay. What did Chris say to you then?
I can't tell. I don't know if the word for word after that. The white man, I did tell him he couldn't give me anything he wanted to. I did tell him he could give me anything he wanted to give me.
Meaning he who did he refer to?
I was just referring. He can tell me. He said Tim said you are charging too much. I said I meant I'm about murdering Andre. I said I never. Tim ain't never talked about me murder. Yeah, let me get to it. Tim ain't never talked to me about murdering Andre. So wherever he got that from, you have to ask Tim or him that. This one we knew he was like just reject. Like he signed his plea agreement and all that, and he got in the courtroom and all that went out the window. He just made it up as he went. He was backtracking out of everything he agreed to.
So when you said I'll take whatever he gives me,
I was referring to Tim because I was just trying to get away from white boy Chris because it could have went any way for me and him as far as murdering him or he murdering me.
Okay. So I want to talk about the day you killed Andre. Did you meet him? Did you meet with Tim that day?
He pulled up on me.
For how long?
Yeah. I guess I met with him. I can't recall how long it was. It wasn't that long.
Do you know what Tim was driving that day?
I believe a truck.
Did you guys have a conversation?
A brief conversation, yes.
What took place during that brief conversation?
He just said, did I talk to white boy Chris?
Tim said, did you talk to white boy Chris?
Yes.
What was your response?
Yes, I did.
And then what did he say?
I can't recall after that because I don't want to incriminate him because they're going to get me in jail.
Did he mention anything about a female?
A female was involved somehow, somewhere in the conversation.
What was the female's involvement?
She ain't never tell me all of that. She got in contact with me after Tim left. We got in contact with each other after Tim left.
Okay.
We were just as confused as y'all are with me. We were sitting there watching him talk. We're like, what?
Okay, let me back up. Your meeting with Tim.
Right.
Tim asked you if you have talked to white boy Chris. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Tim told you something about a female?
Yes.
What did Tim say about that female?
It happened in 16. I can't tell you what he said about a female. He mentioned a female, and when I got out of the car with Tim, me and the female contacted each other. You see how he's skipping over?
How did you get in contact with the female?
I don't know. Either she called me or I called her. Somehow we got in contact. I don't know if I got her number or if she got mine's.
How did you get her number?
It came from Tim. If I got the number, it came from Tim.
Is that, excuse me, is that all that happened during the conversation with Tim?
That I can't remember. I guess probably can't.
Okay. What did you do immediately after you met with Tim?
I went back in the house. Then I purchased a gun.
What kind of gun did you purchase?
A 38.
So one of the first things you do after that conversation with Tim is to purchase a gun?
Yeah, I went and I purchased a gun from a person I knew that had one.
What was your understanding after leaving that conversation with Tim?
It was the understanding that me and Chris had.
Which was?
That Chris said Tim wanted me to go kill Andre, but Tim ain't never said nothing about that. He still never said, nothing about that period. Even after I did it, we never talked about it. So you see how he's trying to remove Tim from.
Okay, but Tim merely said, did you talk to white boy Chris?
I did talk to white boy Chris. I talked to white boy Chris several different times.
And the first thing you do after meeting with Tim is you go purchase a 38 firearm. Is that correct?
Yes.
And at some point, did that female get in contact with you?
Yes.
Did she give you the address to 3964 Natural Bridge?
Yes, she gave me the address.
What did you do when you got that address?
Still did my routine selling drugs.
Okay. At some point, did you go to 3964 Natural Bridge?
Yes, I did.
I'm sorry. If you could, I just want to finish my question. You
Yes.
went. Did you go there with the 38 firearm?
Yes.
Did you choose that particular caliber for a reason?
I thought it wasn't going to do nothing to him for real.
You didn't think it would do anything to him?
No, ma'am.
Do you agree with me that you shot Andre multiple times?
Yes, ma'am.
If we can pull up 55G, it has already been admitted into evidence. Do you recognize this corner, sir?
Yes.
Is this the corner of Natural Bridge and Warren?
Yes.
Is that where you went that night on March 14th, 2016?
If we can, oh, yes.
If we can pull up 55A, when you talk to the female, how is it that you ended up approaching Andre?
He came out the house.
When he came out of the house, where did he go?
He went to a car.
Where were you when he went to the car?
On the side at the next house.
When you say the next house, you can write on that screen. Can you place an X on which house you're talking about?
So he was indicating.
So were you standing there and when Andre went to the car?
Yes.
What did you do when you saw Andre go to the car?
I figured it was him.
I'm sorry?
I figured it was him.
You figured that was him.
I'm nodding.
And then what did you do?
He came back from the car and I approached the man, then turned around and I shot him.
How many times did you shoot him?
I believe twice.
Where were you standing approximately when you shot him?
In the grab by the pole. I don't know what he was standing by the pole, by the stairway. I don't know.
Okay. Can you draw an X on that spot, please?
And so he indicated with an X on the screen where he was standing.
Do you recall where Andre was standing when you shot him?
Somewhere on the steps.
Okay. What did you do after you shot Andre?
I left.
Did you have a cell phone with you?
Yes.
What did you do with that cell phone?
Threw it away.
Why did you throw it away?
I don't need it no more.
Because you killed Andre?
Yeah.
What did you do with the firearm?
I threw it away.
Where did you throw it away?
On the roof.
Where did you go after that?
To the club.
A couple of days later, I know you are not good with dates. Do you recall a call from Tim? Do you receive a call from Tim? What was that call about?
To meet somebody.
Do you know who that was?
DJ. I know him as DJ.
I'm going to show you the witness only government's exhibit 37. Do you recognize that individual, sir?
Yes.
Who is that?
DJ.
Is this the man you met with 2 days after Andre's murder?
Yes.
Move for admission of 37 into evidence.
Any objection, counsel?
None.
Exhibit 37 will be admitted then.
When you met with DJ, was he alone or was someone with him?
I believe he was with someone.
Did you meet with DJ after speaking with Tim?
Yes.
What happened during the meeting with DJ?
He pulled up. He gave me some money.
How much money did he give you?
$5 grand.
Did he say anything?
We talked, but it wasn't too much.
How do you know, DJ?
I went out of town and I met him through when we were out of town.
When did you meet? When did you meet him through? I'm sorry. Who did you meet him through? Was a friend of yours? Was he a friend of yours?
No.
Did you know him through Tim?
Yes.
I want to show you what has been admitted as Government Exhibit 27B. Do you recognize 27B?
Yes.
What's that?
That's the money DJ handed me.
What was that money for?
You have to ask him and Tim. I believe it was for the murder.
Okay. And if we can show what has been admitted as 28C, when you got home later that evening, did you take photographs of the money?
Yes, and some more, yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Okay. Is this one of those photos, 28C?
Yes.
And can you look at 28B as well? Is this another photograph of money you received from DJ?
Yes.
I have nothing further, Judge.
Mr. Leonard.
Mr. Hill, just to be clear, when this guy, white boy Chris, came to you, you have no idea what the date of that was, right?
No, I do not.
Could have been weeks, could have been months before you killed Andre, right?
It was weeks.
I thought you couldn't tell time. Weeks, right?
Yes.
Okay. And just so we're all clear, when this white boy Chris guy comes to you, you never talked to Tim about murdering Andre?
No, sir.
You never ever talked to Camel Hips Tim about harming Andre? Is that correct?
No, sir.
And just so we're on the same page, white boy Chris, he is some guy you just knew from the neighborhood because he worked at Sweetie Pie's sometimes?
I believe so.
Okay, you're not even sure.
I'm not sure.
What are you sure about? But okay, in the day of Dre's murder, you were pretty messed up on ECST, weren't you?
I'm always on X. Yes.
Oh, that's what that word is? Okay, I don't know
I
about
don't know. Definitely.
You can tell I don't know about drugs. I know. And on that day, you had been using it all day, right?
Yes.
And by nightfall, you were pretty messed up, right?
I'm still on X.
Wait, you're in jail. How are you not still in jail? But yeah.
Yes.
Were you doing some coke on that day too?
I don't do no coke. That's for crackheads. Crack is whack.
No. Do you do oxy too?
I don't do no ox.
All right. Do you usually stick with X all day long?
At the time, it was Molly.
Molly? Okay. So what's the difference? Just so the jury knows, I need to know this too. What's the difference between X and Molly?
It is full. Molly is for ecstasy, and ecstasy has different drugs in it. As if that gave any clarity.
For real, because I'm lost.
Okay. Okay. You didn't tell us nothing, but all right. And when you take that all day long, like you did that day, you get a little, let's say, jumpy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, a little trigger happy, right?
Who?
You know the gun. You get a little trigger happy, don't you?
Trigger happy as far as what?
You know the gun? Just shooting guns for no reason, right?
Oh no, I don't shoot guns.
Okay, this will be a
We
long...
literally, when he said he don't shoot guns, we all just, because we couldn't give reactions in court, but everybody gave a look like, what? Literally, we're here because you shot a gun and you said I don't shoot no guns. What?
Okay, you're slower than Terica. Okay, well, before this, you've never committed a murder before, had you?
No.
You didn't have the rep on, you didn't have no street rep on the streets as a murderer, did you?
No, I did not.
Objection. Relevant, Your Honor.
The
At the
objection is
time,
sustained.
March 2016, were you a Crip?
No, I ain't never been a Crip.
What were you affiliated with back then in March 16?
I was a Gibson posse.
Excuse me? Is that some type of possum?
That's what we said. I was a Gibson posse.
Gibson Posse is a gang, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. When you met with white boy Chris, you thought it was weird because Tim is not the type of guy to do that, right?
No, Tim ain't never led me on in any bad way.
Yeah. So Camel Hips Tim is a good guy, right?
I believe so. To me, he was. Every time I seen him, every time I had been around him, he was my mentor.
So someone that can't tell no dates and can't remember nothing, you remember he was a mentor. All right. Oh wait, I'm supposed to be on Tim's side. Okay, yeah, okay. It is fair to say that you knew Dre a little bit, right?
I didn't know Dre. I met him before, but I didn't know him.
What? But Tim said y'all best friends. Oh wait, I'm on Tim's side. Okay. Let me get back. Let me focus. Yeah, did Dre kind of think he was a gangster? Didn't like that because he wasn't.
I didn't have nothing against Dre.
Okay. Did Dre say that your baby mama's baby was his?
Huh?
Character precious. Okay. Did Dre say that your baby mama was his?
Huh?
Okay, when you fired those shots at Dre, that was your intentional decision, wasn't it, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were rereading the same line. I just noticed
No.
it was different. No, he did not. That was the part that caught us off guard in the trial too, because it's like, what? Dre said what? That was a lie. That was Mr. Tim's attorney just throwing
This
stuff
throw
at
anything he sees on stick at the wall?
Yeah, and he's trying to confuse the jury. It was all made up. That never happened, ever.
He said, no, he did not. It was your choice only, right?
Oh, okay. My choice only, I believe so. It was my action. I did it. It wasn't nobody else's fault but mine's.
Gotcha.
And I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to do it no matter how I feel about me doing something to Chris or him doing something to me. I did it. Nobody else be responsible for my actions.
Yep.
I pled guilty because I did it.
I gotcha.
I never looked. I looked at Tim as a mentor. He never did nothing wrong for me. So this when he went on his little rant because he was he's up on a witness stand. I don't know if it was him seeing Tim or what, but he was all of a sudden trying to backtrack anything he said that implicated Tim.
Yeah, seeing Tim.
Sir, you have to listen to the question and answer the question. Please pose another question.
Yeah, just to clear it up, because you're talking a little fast, that's okay. No one made you do that.
No, they didn't.
Only your decision.
Yes.
Nobody influenced you.
No.
Okay, no one pressured you?
No.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Any other questions of the witness?
Oh, I muted from the background noise. You're back up, Mocha.
Oh, I'm sorry if I had background noise. Sorry. Briefly, Your Honor. Mr. Hill, at any time following Andre's murder, did Tim express that he was angry that his nephew was dead?
I never talked to him about that.
In fact, he planned for you to fly out of to Los Angeles a few months later, didn't he?
Because I was going through some things, yes, like the devil being on my mind for taking the life of a person. It was eating me up.
Because, in fact, Oh, I said that. Okay. So he never expressed frustration that his nephew was murdered.
And then noise from the court. Oh, I didn't do it. I did not do it. That's when Tim, I was hoping that we didn't miss it because I was like, I don't see her noting it in this transcript.
I'm sorry, Judge.
When she says noise from the courtroom audience,
You need to take a break.
That was Tim yelling out, I didn't do it.
I'm
So it
sorry,
caught everybody
Judge.
off guard.
Do we need to take a break?
We're okay. No thanks.
So that was Tim is sitting next to
Okay,
Michael. Hold on, y'all. Let me do my commentary. So Tim is sitting next to his attorney, Michael Leonard, when he yells that out. So then Judge Ross then says, "Do we need to take a break?" Like, you sitting here yelling in my court. Do we need to take a break? And that's when Mr. Leonard, who's sitting next to Tim, like consoling him, because Tim breaks out into a tear as well. You know, like he's being all dramatic. And he's like, he caught Mr. Leonard off guard too, but he's got his arm around him like, "You okay?" And he says, "Okay, we're okay. No thanks." So that's what was happening in this moment.
Okay.
I have nothing further.
Any other questions of the witness?
Unfortunately, just one. Mr. Hill, you never told Tim you did it, correct?
No, I didn't. I did not.
All right, thank you. After this fool embarrassed me.
Ms. Dennis, any other questions?
No.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break. Again, don't talk to anyone about the case until I accept your verdict. Keep an open mind about the case. Don't do any independent research of any kind into any of the issues. We're going to take 5 minutes. If you will leave your notebooks there on the chair, we will be back in temporary recess. Court.
Okay, so it goes into temporary. The cast, if I take a good 5-minute break or so, are y'all okay with going to 2 hours? Would be like another 43 minutes or so?
I'm okay with it.
Is everybody ready?
No.
What's that?
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, is everybody satisfied? Okay.
That's fine.
All right, I'm gonna drop. I think, Robert, you're on a delay or something. I don't know what's happening on that end, but we'll try to figure it out. I'm gonna drop everyone down. We're gonna take a commercial break, and then we'll come back with Daryl Howard's testimony.
And phones.
I don't know
Well,
what it is on your end if y'all not listening to it on YouTube, but it's for some reason I think Robert is delayed. I'm sure he's delayed. I'm just not sure what the issue is.
okay, because he's not on YouTube or anything, but I can go in on my phone and try to come in on my phone to see if that would help any.
Okay.
Instead of his phone. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. All right, y'all. I'm gonna play a little commercial, then I'll be back with a little commentary before they all come back up. Let me remove that. Play this, and I'll be right. All right, I am back. I saw a couple comments, but I couldn't start them while I was reading. But I saw this one from Gilda. So, did she ever sleep with Andre? Speaking of Terica, and that was something that was never specifically cleared up. But I'm venturing to say that because now that with me, us going through the transcripts and me hearing the testimony again or reading it again, it was never talked about during the trial. I've never, even in, other conversations I've had, doesn't seem like they actually ever hooked up. Now, my question was, it always seemed suspicious that she went to the La Quinta supposedly to hook up with Dre, at least from his knowledge. And then she comes there and she says she was only there 5 to 10 minutes. He had other people in the room, other guys, his friends in the room. And then she left and said, let's meet up later. But then she only ends up bringing him an outfit before his life was taken. So it's kind of like, but I don't know. Like, situations like that, we try to make sense of them and they weren't meant to ever make sense because different people live different ways. So, by the way, please remember to hit that like button. Thank you to the 96% of you who said that you have hit that like button. Greatly appreciate it in advance. Let me see if I see. Oh, I gotta come over here to live chat. How much research do you think I'm gonna do in 5 minutes? I don't know. I might have missed something with that. She may have hooked up with him and his boy. That's kind of what I was thinking. That's the only thing I could kind of think. But that's the only thing I can kind of think. But also, she said she wasn't charging him. And it seems like if his boys was involved, like some money would be involved. But I don't quite buy that version of the story of her going up there for only 5 to 10 minutes just to text him to say he was there. And then she leaves right away. And wouldn't Dre, like, you planned, like when she was supposed to be coming, and then she claimed she was with Tim at the Walgreens. She was taking too long. Dre, like, you planned. She like, no, I'm leaving the steakhouse. All that, and she comes to where Dre is, and then nothing happens. It just seems odd, very odd. Like, I don't know about that. I'm like, did his boys clear the room? Like, they were in the room, but they cleared the room for them too. I don't know. Something ain't right. But yeah, there was no conversation about any actual hooking up that happened between the two of them. Oh yeah, Renee S is saying, considering how quiet it is, I know it caught everybody off guard. Yeah, literally, as you saw with with us reading the transcripts, Travell is literally in the middle of his testimony. He's being cross-examined, and it is quiet. We're listening, and on top of that, Judge Ross, you weren't allowed to act up in that federal courtroom. It wasn't your phone couldn't be ringing, you couldn't be talking and whispering and all of that. It was just quiet, and everybody looking ahead. And the next thing you know, we hear from the side, "I didn't do it," and we like, what? What's happening? And it was he yelled it. He yelled it, and then like just doing the most. So yes, that's why Judge Ross was like, "Do we need to take a break? Because we don't do that up in here. We don't do the theatrics up in here." I'm gonna see if everybody is back. I think I'm gonna wait for Precious to get back on camera. Oh, Precious is back on camera, I think. Okay, good. Looks like everybody's back. We're gonna get this rolling. Looks like we're about to move to Daryl Howard's testimony. Daryl Howard is DJ Beats. So when you heard, this is the person who gave, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure this is the person who gave Travell the money. So he talks about his experience with Tim leading up to that. And you see how Tim was manipulating all these various, Tim used all of these various people like pawns on his chessboard. It shows how manipulative he is, because none of these people knew each other or knew what the other person was doing or was involved in. White Boy Chris, I don't know about that, but you got White Boy Chris was in it. You had Travell and White Boy Chris. interacting together. You had Terica and Tim, but then Terica only communicates with Travell only in the last few hours before the deed needs to be done. They don't know each other. They're strangers. You got YL, who is here, another pawn, who didn't really see the full picture of what was happening. Money hungry, yes, and some of the other clues. But part of me, he wasn't in the loop. He wasn't in the real loop. Everybody was just pawn pieces on the chessboard, and his goal was to get to Dre. That was it. I'll pull this up first, and then pull up. How did I do it before? I'm gonna keep it the same order. Oh, but make sure margins in the screen. We good to go over there, Margin?
Yeah. Can you hear Robert
excellent.
okay?
I hear you.
Where do
Is
we
Robert
start?
talking?
Where do we
Okay,
start?
we are on what we're at? Page 139, line 9. So 139, line 9.
Hold on, Vell. I'm on page 11.
No problem. Okay. Do I need to enlarge this a little bit? No, that's too big.
Oh, okay. 130, 38 or 39?
139.
Okay. Okay. Line.
Line 9. And I'll start reading.
Okay.
Okay, so at we good?
Okay.
Okay, so at
cancel.
No, can you hear me?
Ms. Danes.
Yes.
No, I know y'all hear me.
Go ahead.
I think there's still a delay. But I'm reading the first part. So at 2:32 p.m., the proceedings stood in temporary recess, and then at 2:50 p.m., the proceedings resumed in open court. Somebody has music playing or something?
Oh, that's my dog TV. Let me shut the door.
Oh, okay.
Cancel. Ms. Danis, you may call your next witness.
Thank you, Judge. Being produced and sworn, testified as follows.
Wait, do I have another page problem? You
No,
said
no,
thank you.
go up to 24, Vell. 24.
Oh, you reading from the screen again?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I thought we talked about this.
No.
I thought we had this conversation.
Wait, but did you finish reading? You said thank you, Your Honor. Shouldn't it be the United
and then
States?
I read 22, and then it's.
But you should have been up here at 13, right? At 14, right?
No, didn't we read that already?
You have to call me next. The United States calls Daryl Howard?
Ms. Danis, you may call your next witness.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, all right, I guess. Okay.
Okay. Do you want Robert to go line 16?
Did I miss something? Maybe
I'm
missed
like,
something.
where's everybody at? Because they look like
I'm on the
everybody
right page. I'm on the right page, 139.
Right, 139. I just read. I started at line 9.
Yeah.
And now.
Oh! You know what? That was me. That was an error on my part. I saw the second. Thank you, Your Honor. I'm sorry. So, thank you, Your Honor. The United States call Daryl Howard.
If you will step up here, the clerk will administer the oath, Mr. Howard. If you will speak into the microphone, it will help amplify your voice. Counsel, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Can you introduce yourself to the jury, sir?
My name is Daryl Howard.
How old are you, Mr. Howard?
41.
Do you have any nicknames?
DJ Beats.
DJ Beats?
DJ Beats.
With a Z on the end or an S?
With a Z, like Zulu.
Mr. Howard, in 2020, did you enter into a cooperation agreement with the government relative to the murder of for hire for Andre Montgomery?
Yes.
I'm going to show you the witness only. What has been marked for identification for Exhibit 74?
We are pulling it up.
I don't see anything.
It is on. It will be coming up in just a minute.
Okay.
Do you recognize that document, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the date of the document?
October 15th, 2020.
Do you enter that agreement with you and your lawyer with the United States on that date?
Yes.
What is your understanding for obligations under that agreement?
To be honest and complete.
Do you know the defendant, Tim Norman?
Yes.
Do you see him in court today?
Yes.
Can you please identify him by where he is seated and article of clothing he is wearing?
Left hand corner, black suit.
Your Honor, I ask the record to reflect that the witness has identified the defendant.
The record will so reflect.
How long have you known Mr. Norman?
Possibly since 2011, 2012.
I want to take you back to 2016. Can you pull up what has been previously admitted as Government Exhibit 2T? This is the contact card from Mr. Norman's phone. Can you tell the jury the phone number, the email address that appear under? Is that your name, DJ?
DJ, that's me.
What phone number were you using at that time?
Okay.
And what email account were you using?
DJ Beats. Okay.
And can you tell me, did you have a cellular device programs such that you could access your Gmail account on your phone?
Yes.
Did that go everywhere with you?
Everywhere I went, yes.
I want to talk about March 14th, 2016. Did you learn that the defendant was in town that day?
Yes.
Did you and the defendant get in contact and plan to meet?
Yes.
What was the purpose of that meeting?
To talk about a mutual acquaintance, and we had a video that was dropping. I produced some records for Tim. The video dropped on Saturday on BET. Wow, it made the BET, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so if March 14th was a Monday, what would have been March 12th, 2016?
Yes, March 12th.
Okay, where did you and Mr. Norman meet that day?
At the Chase Park Plaza.
Let me show you what has been previously admitted in Government Exhibit 42. Is that a picture of Chase Park Plaza, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that where you met Mr. Tim Norman on March 14, 2016?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall what time of day it was when you met Mr. Norman?
Possibly 3 o'clock, somewhere in that time frame.
And how long did that meeting take place?
Maybe an hour.
Were you meeting Mr. Norman room there?
Yes.
Can you describe kind of the setup of this room and where within the room you met with him?
I want to say it was 2 sides. One side was like a bed. Another side was like chairs, kind of like a suite type of setup. You know, like embassy suites or something.
And when you met around that 3 o'clock time frame, which part of the room did you meet in?
Stop the chairs. They ain't gonna be the bed.
Did you go into the bedroom portion at that time?
Not at that time.
After you were done meeting with Mr. Norman, how long did you stay that meeting lasted?
Maybe an hour.
Do you recall about what time it was that you left?
I possibly, if I got there at 3, it could have been 4 sometime in there.
Given that you had that music video, you said it was dropping on BET, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you communicating a lot with Mr. Norman throughout the day?
Yes.
At some point, did Mr. Norman call you and ask you to do something?
Yes.
Do you recall that, or do you recall about what time it was that would have asked, he would have asked you to do that?
It was later in the day, 8 o'clock, somewhere in that time frame, maybe 8 or 9, somewhere in there.
Was it dark outside?
Of course, it was dark outside. Yes.
What did Mr. Norman ask you to do?
He said he left $5,000 in the hotel. He wanted me to get it.
Did you agree?
Yes.
Did you know what that money was for?
No.
Did you return to the hotel to get that money?
Yes, I went and picked it up.
Were you planning on staying in the hotel that night?
I was going to stay there, but my girlfriend that I was with, she was like, she didn't like the hotel room. Someone had been there before us. She was like, yuck.
So you went up to the hotel room with your girlfriend, is that correct?
Yes.
And was that to retrieve the $5,000?
Yeah. Retrieve the 5,000. Yes.
And what portion of the room was the $5,000 in?
It was in the part where the bed is, I think. It was like a drawer or a dresser, probably, I think.
And you were up there with your girlfriend?
Yes.
How long did you stay there?
Maybe 5 or 10 minutes.
Why was it your girlfriend didn't want to stay there?
Because it was all condoms, like old, nasty, condoms left in the room, like a pack of condoms.
Ugh. What did you do after you picked up the $5,000?
I wanted to say, I talked to Tim. He said, I asked him what he wanted me to do with it. He said, hold on to it. I'll get it from you later.
Did he tell you why?
Of course he didn't. No.
Had Mr. Norman asked you to hold the money for him before?
Yes.
Did he tell you what it was for on those prior occasions?
Yes.
Was this the only time that he asked you to hold the money for him where he did not tell you what it was for?
Yes. I thought it was pretty strange.
At some time on March 16, 2016, did Mr. Norman contact you again?
Yes.
What did he ask you to do on March 16th?
He asked me to take the 5,000 that I got and take it to his little nephew.
Did you know who this little nephew was?
Of course. Yes.
Who was that?
Loco.
A person you know as Loco?
Yeah, a guy named Loco.
Can you pull up for the witness what has been marked as Government Exhibit 36? Did you recognize the government paper?
Girl,
Exhibit
you need to take your phone
36.
off the Wi-Fi. I can't barely hear you. Yes.
Okay. You can't hear me?
No, your phone keeps cutting in and out like every other sentence.
I'm
Uh,
hearing her just fine.
Yes.
okay. Who is that person?
That's Loco.
Is that the little nephew that Tim told you to deliver the money to?
Yes.
Move for admission of 36 into evidence.
Any objection, counsel?
No, Judge.
Then Exhibit 36 will be admitted.
Do you recall how it was that you knew where to meet with Loco?
I want to say that Tim got on a three-way with me and Loco, or a three-way somehow. And that's how we figure out the location. I talked to Loco somehow, or Tim, or something like that.
Where was it that you were supposed to go to?
Right by the Peabody Projects.
Is that the south of downtown area of St. Louis?
Yeah, downtown.
Did you go alone?
Oh, no.
Who did go with you?
I went with my brother.
Why is it that you took your brother with you?
Because I thought something wasn't right about it. And I didn't want to get there. I just told my brother to watch my back. You know the projects?
Yeah, the Peabody. It's Peabody. It's projects. Yeah, town
Did
hall
you know?
projects.
Did you know that Mr. Norman's nephew had been murdered 2 days earlier?
Yes.
Had you talked to Mr. Norman about that?
Yes.
What did you say to Mr. Norman when you found out his nephew was murdered?
I told him sorry for his condolences, and he was pretty much like, fuck him. Pretty much, oh my God.
Damn. That was Mr. Norman's response?
Yeah, pretty much like he really wasn't into the condolences thing. Mm-mm-mm.
I want to show you that he has been marked and admitted as government exhibit 27B. Did you photograph do you photograph that money that you picked up at the hotel prior to delivering it to Loco?
Yes, right before I delivered it, I took a picture of it.
Why?
Because I knew something wasn't right about it. I didn't feel right about taking the money to Loco and how it was all put together. So I took a picture of it.
Then did you proceed to Peabody?
Then I proceeded to go.
How long did you stay there?
2 minutes. I pulled right up, gave the guy the money, and then left.
Did Loco say anything to you?
Nothing.
Did the defendant ever talk to you about that delivery ever again?
No.
Did you ever know what it was for?
I never knew what it was for.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Leonard?
So with DJ Beast, because I didn't preference in the beginning, he actually seemed like a sane dude, like, because we had so much chaos between Terica and Travell's testimony. His was very even keel. He was well spoken. He didn't look like he was with the other stuff. He just seemed like a guy who happened to be a DJ who, Tim happened to know and took advantage of, basically.
You can tell that.
Mr. Leonard. Mr. Howard, prior to March of 2016, you had known Tim for what, 5 or 6 years?
Since 2011 or 2012.
Yeah, so 4 to 5 years.
Possibly, yes.
All right. I'm not good at math, but that's about right? Even elementary math, I'm not good at.
Hey, if you say so.
Okay, and you knew Tim prior to March 16, always being a man of character, didn't you?
Oh, yes.
Always someone who was kind.
Yes.
Considerate of others.
Yeah.
Caring about everyone around him.
Objection, ask and answer relevance.
The objection is sustained.
And the other thing about Tim, all the way up to March 2016, he rolled big, didn't he?
Yes.
Always had lots and lots of money.
Yes.
All the way up to that time period, right?
You keep taking money from the damn restaurants, but yes.
And always after.
Yes.
Always had a lot of cash.
Yeah, you took them from the restaurants, yes.
Did you know that he would come in from time to time from LA to St. Louis to take money out of the safes at Sweetie Pies?
Objection, facts not in evidence. No.
It was answered. The objection is overruled.
And in addition to having always lots and lots of money, he also drove expensive cars, right?
Yes.
And he had about how many?
Maybe 4.
Okay, a Bentley.
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance.
The objection is sustained.
And is it fair to say you went on some trips with him?
Yes.
Was one Mexico?
Yes.
Did you go on any other trips with him?
Miami, LA.
All right. And you considered him a trusted friend, correct?
Yes.
And you thought that some people hung around with him just because of his money.
No.
You didn't do that? You didn't, but some other people did, right?
No.
Objection, speculation, relevance.
Objection again is sustained.
And did you know another guy named Wally Yagnam?
Yes.
He was maybe up until 2011, 2012, had been a well-known music producer here, right?
Yes, because of Nelly, yes.
Were you friends with Wally?
Yes.
And then Wally became an insurance agent here in St. Louis, correct?
Yeah, for what I know.
He even hit you up for business, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Tried to get you to do a life insurance policy.
No, he didn't. Actually, let me rephrase that. He didn't hit me up. I saw him walking out of a doctor's office and he asked me about life insurance policy. I bumped into him.
Okay, all right. I understand that. But when you saw him, he pitched for you to buy life insurance.
He did.
Okay. And you mentioned in response to the government's question that you did hold money for Tim from time to time, right, Mr. Howard?
Yes.
And it wasn't unusual for you to hold money for Tim, was it?
Yes. No.
And at the time of these events, you were already holding over $20,000 for Tim, weren't you?
I was.
And you probably held money for him dozens of times, right?
Nope.
How many times?
Maybe twice.
Okay. And you met with Tim on March 14th of 2016, right?
Yes.
And during that meeting with him, that hour, you guys were talking about the song that you had produced for him.
Yes.
That was going to drop.
Yep.
He did not say anything about harming Andre, did he?
No.
He did not say anything about wanting to kill Andre, did he?
Nope.
You knew that Tim had been trying to locate Andre to get back the money that Andre stole from Miss Robbie.
No, I did not know that.
You didn't know that?
Nope.
Okay. And can you give me your best estimate of how often Tim would go back and forth between LA and St. Louis during that time period?
He had, I want to say, 2 restaurants at the time. So he would come back maybe once a month, twice a month. For what I know, he could come back, and I don't know.
Okay. So some of the times he would communicate with you and say, hey, I'm in town, DJ. Sometimes not.
Yeah.
Okay. You said this thing about Tim, fuck him, about Andre. Do you remember saying that?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
You were interviewed by these people over here, indicating that this table, the prosecutors and the detective Rudolph, right?
More than once.
No, that was
you.
Yeah.
Oops.
More than once?
Twice.
Yeah. And they asked you what Tim said, right?
Yes.
And you never told them that Tim said, fuck him, did you, sir?
Well, he was saying, I don't know if I said those exact words.
You didn't, did you, sir?
No, I didn't say those exact words.
Did someone tell you to come here today and say that?
No.
You misspoke, didn't you, sir?
The words that I said previous was forget him and didn't curse in front of those people when we did the meeting. So, I could rephrase what I said to the prosecutor was he like forget him and like pretty much forget him,
Yeah, and Andre had been away for a while, right?
Objection.
What do you mean? I'm lost.
The objection is sustained.
Do you know whether Andre had left St. Louis for a period of time prior to March of 2016?
I don't know about Andre.
Okay, so the answer would be no.
No, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Howard.
Any questions of the witness?
No, Your Honor.
May this witness be fully excused.
Yes, Your Honor.
You can now step down, sir. Thank you. Call your next witness.
Okay, so we're going to call it a night with Agent Daniel Root, who I don't remember what they testified about. So we'll check into that before our next session. But thank you. In the audience, please put in the chat your clapping hands emojis and all of your cheers for all the great work of our cast this evening. This was an interesting one. We got both Terica and Vell in, as well as I didn't do it. So this was a good one. And we are sending our thoughts and prayers to Miss Michelle Griggs and the Griggs family and all of those who loved and cared for Andre, as we are just a few hours away from the 8-year anniversary of when his life was unfortunately taken. But with that, I'm going to let our cast members say their last words for this evening. And we'll start with Robert, who we are so grateful to have with us this evening. We're glad to see you, sir. Uh-oh, I didn't mean to push you down. How are you, Robert?
I'm doing better.
Good.
I'm still hospitalized, but I'm doing better and hope to be home soon.
Excellent.
Some people have hypnotic effects on other people. And it's clear to see that Tim had an audience, I wouldn't call them friends, of associates, that he had a hypnotic effect on, that it seemed as if they would go to just about any length to keep from being accusatory against him.
Mm-hmm.
This trial is a real learning experience on the social element of people.
Agreed. Well, we thank you so much, Robert. Thank you for pushing through and spending time with us this evening. We're definitely praying for your complete healing. And thank you for being such a trooper this evening. And we will see you on our next in our next cast reading.
Yes.
All right. You take care, Robert.
All right.
Bye-bye. All right. And Mocha Barbie.
That man is such a monster. It just baffles my mind just how cold he really was after, he unalived Andre. It's just like, wow. And that family had to stay silent for 6 years?
7
years? And not say anything. That just hurts my heart. But thank God they got justice, for Andre's death. And I will definitely be praying for the family for his, his 8-year anniversary. So thank you.
All right. Thank you again for another wonderful evening. I'll be in touch.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right. And Precious G.
Another fun night. I saw Rocky jumped in here really quick.
Yeah, I missed it. I probably was reading.
But I enjoyed another good reading. Of course, I'm sending my prayers, love and light to the Griggs family, of course. I'm just glad they got justice finally. you know, and I can't wait till Pill comes back denied for camel hips. That's gonna be
Yeah.
another time to celebrate for them.
Right. So
Can't
put
wait. But
right.
thank you, everybody. I hope y'all enjoyed yourselves. I know we don't get a lot of views, but I hope the replay goes by good. So, you know, good night.
All right. We'll see you later. And I saw a couple. It's hard for me to keep up with the chat because I'm literally reading the script, but I did catch a couple questions that I starred. Oh, I see here. Thank you for the super chat. This is Margin on Robert's account. Thank you, Vell, for letting me read from rehab. No need to thank me for that, but I appreciate Robert being so dedicated that he would do that, and all that we can do to help him heal quicker. I'm all down for it. Gilda says, I read that one earlier. Here we go. Was White Boy Chris ever charged? Does anybody know? Ashley. White Boy Chris was not charged in relation to this case whatsoever. He had some other legal issues. He had some PPP stuff and some other charges unrelated to this case also happening at that time. I don't really know. There's a lot of pieces to this case that we still they never informed us of, things that they just kept off the docket that we don't know about. It seems like White Boy Chris, he definitely talked to the FBI for extended amounts of time. What he said and what he said that helped this case or whatever, don't know. But all I know is when it came time for the actual trial, they was like, he didn't want to testify. They called him. He pled the fifth for everything. I think because they had something on him, but maybe because Tim was the big fish and maybe his role was only that beginning piece that they alluded to with Travail, they let him go. I don't know, but he did not get charged in this particular case, but he has so much on him. In addition to this, I think they were like, we ain't gonna get you with this, but you still gonna end up locked up. I don't know, but that's kind of the vibe I got, but that's just an assumption because he did not get charged for anything related to this case. The outburst was planned. Alice is saying, I do believe that the theatrics of Tim yelling, I didn't do it. I do believe he had that in his mind, some of the theatrics, and we are going to get to his testimony. We will likely be skipping some of these testimonies. So I'm going to read ahead. I should be able to read ahead and see what's happening with these other expert witnesses, but we're only going to read the ones that are absolutely necessary to keep the gist of what's happening here with the case. But yeah, I believe that too. It was theatrics. Ashley is saying, don't nobody need to go to the Peabody alone or with somebody laughing, but very serious. I start this because when I stayed in St. Louis for the trial for those 2 weeks, I was staying in an Airbnb complex. Well, it was actually like a loft building. The upper units were like, I think they were condos and maybe rental apartments. I'm not sure. But the lower level were all Airbnbs. And I stayed there the entire time because it was like I had my own apartment. It was really nice. What I did not realize, because I would take a scooter, like one of those little mobile scooters, the city scooters. I would ride one of those all the way over. Well, I could ride it to the bridge, and I would have to walk over the bridge to go into downtown, but it was only a few blocks. But I would ride that through the neighborhood. I did not know until I think I went for Tim's somebody's sentencing, that I had been staying literally a block away and riding past the Peabody projects every single day. I did not know that. So when I did my video, because I remember when I did the timeline video, I had to look up, different locations because I was going to drive to each of them. And when I put in the Peabody location and realized I was literally driving past it, riding and walking past it on some days, every day I was like, oh my God, God to cover me. But I ended up recording over there as well. You'll see some footage, but I recorded from across the street on the outskirts of it. But I went during the day, so it didn't look like regular townhome projects to me, but it wasn't people standing out on corners and stuff, but it also was probably the time of day I was there. So But yeah, interesting. I really got to know St. Louis pretty well. Ashley saying, oh, let me go to the live chat. Oh, I see y'all got some other comment. Where's Ashley? Oh, let me get those one first then. Oh Lord, I lost it. Says, does Tim have new evidence for appeal? No, Paula, no. He just doing his regular tricks and stunts. But no, he don't have new evidence. He's just trying to say, what did he say though? What was his? I can't even remember. I did a video on it though, a reaction video to the actual appeal hearing with the attorney speaking. So I can't remember off the top of my head right now because my brain's a little fried, but nothing. But you can go watch that video if you haven't, where I talk about the update on the appeal case. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's titled Appeal or something. Tim's appeal. Let me see. I ain't in no. Wow. I was gonna say I ain't in no major rush. I'm not. Let me see. I might be able to pull it up right here. Mute that. See if I can give you the. Did we do that as a live? I think, yeah, I do everything as a live nowadays. Let's see. Here it is. Tim's appeal hearing. Grab you the link. Here's the link for you. What did I just read? Here we go. There's the link for you of the video where I broke that. That's Paula. Paula C. There's the link where you actually get to hear the appeal hearing with Tim's new attorney and also Angie Danis, which was the same U.S. prosecutor who led this case. Right. Alice is saying a waste of time and money. Oh, here we go. Ashley saying, "Yep, around the corner from the Busch Stadium." Yeah, that's where the federal trial, the court building was, and I wasn't staying that far away. But all right, with that, oh, hold on. I'm trying to see if there was any questions, but it's all a lot of comments mixed in. Hey, Vell, was this the part of the trial where Mr. Leonard said they were trying to arrest Travell's daughter? Trying to arrest Travell's daughter. Did I miss something? I don't know if I'm just forgetting. Did I mention that during the recap when I was reading in the evenings during the trial? Because I just don't remember. But Travell just testified. We didn't hear no more from Travell until his sentencing hearing. So if we didn't go over it tonight, that wasn't said, unless it was said during his sentencing hearing. But I don't quite recall that. But it just could be my memory. Oh, I was clicking on. Remember, he was in the car with his daughter when he was arrested. Did we read that? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Yes, when he got arrested, but did I read that? I don't know. Where the hell did it come from? Did we read it tonight? I don't recall anything about arresting the daughter. But he did when he did get arrested, when they picked him up for, well, they had a warrant for him. That's slowly coming to me, but I don't remember the details. I just don't remember the details right now. But whatever I told y'all in the past that gave y'all the story is true. But I just don't remember. It's too much in my head with this story and all the other ones. And this story is huge. Yeah. But I do vaguely remember now when he got arrested, his daughter was with him. That I do. But she was like young. I forgot how old, but she was very young, adolescent. All right. But with that, I thank all of you for viewing. I will keep y'all posted on if this will, and it probably will, get a new schedule. We just got to figure it out. But I will keep y'all posted either way. But thank y'all, and y'all make sure to have a great evening. And I will play us out with a little remembrance of Andre Montgomery. Which one am I playing now? Oh, this one. All right, y'all. I will see y'all next time. Peace. So the plan with this is like what we're doing now. I just want it to be a conversation, and I like for us to start at the beginning and kind of work through the timeline of Dre's life, who he was, the parts that the public didn't get to know about him. And my goal with this whole project is to pay tribute to Dre and highlight his life in a way that I haven't seen it done anywhere publicly. And there are a lot of people who are still very invested in Dre and his life, how he impacted, all of us in his brief time on the screen. So I just want to basically create something that is a tribute to him and will be something you and your family, as well as the public, can look to for years to come, just to celebrate Dre and his life.
I'm not doing it for no fame or fortune, because you don't really hear about how this thing happened. It's not normally in the Black community. Andre didn't have buku money. All he had was himself and his personality. And that went further than anything possibly could be out there.
So with Andre's father, how did you guys meet?
I met Dre in San Diego. I met him in San Diego through some friends. And he was funny. Andre is a spit image of his dad. Look like him, act like him, talk like him, walk like him. Andre, he was just like his dad. Spit image. Matter of fact, after Andre was born, I was out. And the nurse was like, you have to name him. I said, okay, I'll name him. I don't know, something happened and I was out. When I woke up, they came in and said, well, here's Andre. I said, who named him? He said, I named him. Oh, okay. You are his father.
Right.
He named him Andre LaJuan Montgomery Jr. So, and he was so proud, kind of like the Lion King. He was like lifting him up extra. I'm telling you, Dre is spit image of his dad, spit image of him.
Happy birthday